What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is Orioles Today, where I am dropping brand new content every single day on all things the Baltimore Orioles. As always, I am Sean Ferguson, and I really do appreciate you guys tuning into this latest video. And this channel is brand new, and I'm doing my best to get it off the ground, up and running at 100 miles an hour, and you guys are becoming a big part of that. I've been seeing all the views and likes and comments to the videos and subscriptions to the channel, and I really do appreciate it, and it's only going to help this thing get bigger faster, and I thank you guys so much for that. And when it comes to these subscriptions, if you are a big Orioles fan or a big baseball fan in general, it is off-season time. Free agency is finally here, and we have a lot to get into every single day. So by subscribing, you will be getting notifications daily on all of these video drops for the latest updates, mostly on all things Orioles. But there's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of teams are declining player options, and players are declining their own options, and it's just making it this big bowl of who are the Orioles going to get. Off season's here. Free agency just started. I'm so excited. And the Orioles, they went ahead right away and made a trade. The Orioles made a trade. I was all here for it. I looked, and the Orioles get Andrew Kittredge back. The Orioles acquire relief pitcher Andrew Kittredge from the Chicago Cubs for cash considerations. If you don't know who Andrew Kittredge is, the Orioles traded him to the Cubs at last year's MLB trade deadline for a young prospect, as they were just trying to retool that farm system. So the Orioles are very familiar with Kittredge. He wasn't terrible, just a veteran arm. He's 35 years old. He posted a 3.45 ERA in 31 appearances with the O's, and then it was a 3.32 ERA in 23 appearances with the Cubs after he was acquired by them, and then posting a 3.40 ERA overall. So it's not a blockbuster trade by any means. This is the Orioles getting a guy back that they are familiar with, as this year the O's are trying to be consistent. Consistency is the key. And like I said, I have been reading down in the comments from you guys, and I really do appreciate your feedback. Please keep leaving me comments about everything I go over and things you want to hear about as well in future videos. And I know that I've been touching a lot on the arms, starting pitching, relief pitching, closing pitching, and I really do think that's the biggest hole, glaring hole, that the O's are dealing with right now. And yes, the bats were not good last year, but I think a big part of that was consistency. They did not start off consistent. They started off with so many injuries. Henderson didn't start the year. Then you had O'Neill. You had Westberg. You had Cowser, Mateo. All these guys missed time, and it was so hard to get their footing down. And then you let Hyde go, so you don't have your manager in there anymore. Tony Mansolino comes in, does a great job as the interim manager. There was no consistency. There was just an injury-plagued year that affected bats greatly, and I do think that the O's are able to start this year off healthy and consistent, that the bats will kind of take care of themselves. Now, yes, it always helps to have a veteran batter too, and I do believe that they will go after a couple guys when it comes to that area, and I will be touching on that in a few videos from now. I'll lay low on the arms for a little bit, and I'll go over some of the bats that the O's need to go after pretty aggressively in free agency. But again, the O's, they do trade cash considerations to the Chicago Cubs. They bring the 35-year-old Andrew Kittredge back, trying to get consistency in the back end of that bullpen, and that's a guy that you can at least trust to be consistent. He's not going to be a guy that you rely on every single night, but he can go out there and get you through an inning or two if you need him. So I'm glad to have Kittredge back. It wasn't a trade that I was expecting when I saw it, but it's a very O's move, and I'm okay with it. I'm not mad at it, and it proves to the consistency that the Orioles are trying to keep, as not long after that, they went ahead and re-signed two more relievers that they are very familiar with. Kittredge ends, he is back, and Josh Walker is back as well. Hands were kind of tied with Walker. Walker was a waiver addition by the Orioles last year, and he pretty much spent the entire season with the Orioles at the AAA location down in Norfolk, but Josh Walker out of minor league options, so he was kind of forced to be on the Orioles 40-man roster, because if the Orioles did send him back down to the minors, then they would have to send him through the waiver order process, and there was a chance that someone else could snag him. So the O's decided to put him on the 40-man roster. He will be at spring training, and again, he's not a guy that you are expecting to be anything crazy, but it's the consistency I was just talking about. And he'll get a chance to be on that roster. He's another 30-year-old that has gone through the motions here in the big leagues, and another guy is Ends we are way more familiar with, the 34-year-old. He spent last year with the O's, 3.14 ERA in 17 appearances. He had a pretty good strike out to walk ratio. So I'm not mad with Ends coming back. Again, I think Walker right now is just kind of filling that roster in on the veteran side, on the back end side, and he will be a guy that's going to be on the spring training roster, and we'll see if he does make the big league opening day roster. I don't believe he will, but crazier things have happened. Ends most likely will be there. Again, he's 34 years old. He's kind of going into kind of the same thing Kittredge is. He's a guy we're familiar with, a guy that we're comfortable with, and someone you could put in there to get you through an inning or two out of the bullpen. And we'll see. We'll see. He'll be another spring training guy, and it really depends now with free agency opening up who the Orioles are going to go after to see if they could take one of those guys' places. But for right now, it's a good veteran presence in the bullpen that the Orioles, they could use right now. Again, they're coming off that down season, so it's definitely a guy they could use, and two guys they could use. Familiar with, bring them back, see how they can help you, especially just in the clubhouse in general. Another guy who I really think could help the Orioles out in the clubhouse. He will be available. Now, will it be available after a qualifying offer has been issued? We will see. But two-time All-Star Brandon Woodruff will officially test free agency. He has had his player option declined. It was mutually declined by the Milwaukee Brewers. And this is a move that I like. It's another one of those moves that I really like, and I would love to hear if you guys like it too. Brandon Woodruff, again, two-time All-Star. He went 7-2 with a 3.20 ERA. The ERA was the seventh best in the AL, and he's only 29 years old. That's great. I love the age as well. Love the stats, love the age, and love what I saw with him in Milwaukee. And hey, we just traded with the Milwaukee Brewers a couple of seasons ago to acquire Corbin Burnes. We're familiar with this team. They got pretty good starting pitching over there. So bringing over Brandon Woodruff, that would be big. That would be big, because you got to think Trevor Rogers is going to be part of that rotation. Okay, you're going to get Kyle Bradish back healthy, but then what are you looking at for the rest of that? Rotation? Are you going to bring back Zach Eflin? Are you going to bring back Tomoyuki Sugano? Is Grayson Rodriguez going to be healthy this year? Is John Means ever going to pitch again? What's Cade Povich going to do? So bringing in a veteran like Woodruff, who's been proven that, how penny pinch the Orioles organization is, even with their brand new owner, this would be a move that I would feel like you wouldn't have to break the bank on, but you can also show the rest of the league of, hey guys, yeah, we just made this deal. And it makes sense. It's a good move. We're not bringing over pieces that are affordable and really old and past their prime, but you could bring over an affordable piece that's proven right now and he's still dealing. So Brandon Woodruff to the Orioles would make so much sense. And maybe that's why it won't happen. Because it makes too much sense. And as Orioles fans, usually if it makes too much sense, it doesn't happen. So, man, that I would love to see Woodruff come over. And it would be really smart for the O's to go after him. Will they do it? Only time will tell. Free agency is here. I'm so excited. And that's a big move I want to see happen. We'll see how aggressive the O's are right out of the gate. Man, and I hope he comes over. And with how aggressive the O's are out of the gate, they're also going to have to be, with the players, they're going to have to be the same way about their coaching staff, as yet another coach has left. The Orioles are just losing them left and right. Cody Ash, he joins the growing list of Orioles coaches that have left the staff, with Craig Abernathy coming over to become the brand new manager of the Orioles after the firing of Brandon Hyde last year and Tony Mansolino. I do believe that he was considered. He was the interim manager after Hyde was let go. Mansolino came in and he ultimately did not get the interim tag removed, and it was given to Abernathy. And as expected, a lot of coaches are leaving. And again, Cody Ash is one of them. He was the Orioles lead hitting coach. And I know a lot of you are probably going, great, good, because the Orioles, I do believe, had the 7th worst statistical offense last year. And with Cody Ash being the lead hitting coach, cool, get rid of him and bring in another guy. Bring in your own guy to see what he can do. and what he can improve for the Orioles. Ash, though, he is going to leave for the Detroit Tigers, and he also joins bench coach Robinson Chirinos, assistant hitting coaches Tommy Joseph and Sherman Johnson, and then first base coach Anthony Sanders has also left. So nothing to worry about if you're an O's fan. Do not worry about it. Abernathy is going to get a lot of his guys in there, his own guys. And I think you're going to see a sprinkling of veteran management, and then you're also going to see some younger guys come in as well that are really going to bode well for this young Orioles team. So nothing to worry about. It's kind of what we expected, and other videos have also said who's next. Who's going to be next? So Cody Ash was next, and it's not terrible because for the most part, the Orioles hitting couldn't get much worse than it was last year. So hopefully that's it, and hopefully Abernathy can start rebuilding his coaching staff. And as you're bringing players in, you can bring coaches in, because the faster you can bring coaches in and you can set that standard, it's going to show new players that are coming in what you have set in stone. That way they can feel more comfortable with who they're going to be with all year. So we'll see if that's it. We'll see if any more join. But again, guys, I appreciate you so much for tuning in. 2026 free agency is here. I'm so excited to be able to cover this for you guys. And I hope the Orioles make some big splashes. Only time will tell. Again, guys, this is Orioles Today, giving you brand new daily content every single day on all things the Baltimore Orioles. I am Sean Ferguson, and I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Please subscribe for daily notifications, and I'll see you next time.